Hi, this is Cameron with the Burnside team at Keller Williams Real Estate. So on today's video, we're going to talk about what you would net if you were to sell your house today. This is a question that comes up in a lot of conversations, and it's well-deserved, obviously. When you're sitting down and listing with a real estate agent, wanting to know, okay, I'm going to sell my house for this. How much do I get to keep after everything is done? What are the costs involved? So I'm going to assume one thing. We're going to assume that we're not taking into account any closing costs that you're paying for a buyer. So if the buyer's asking you to pay towards their rate buy down or lowering the amount that they're having to bring in by a certain amount, we're not considering that. This is just straight on when you're selling it to somebody. You're not doing anything else. You're not paying for a home warranty. You're not paying for repairs. So after all of those things are taken care of and done, this is the number we're going to focus on. So let's pretend you're selling your house for $500,000. So first one, you're going to take out the real estate commission. It's about 6%. Now that 6% or whatever commission you're being charged, you have the option of deciding whether or not you're going to pay a commission on the net or the gross. For our clients, we always end up saying, let's pay the commission on the net because we don't want you to pay us commission off of something you don't actually earn. You get to keep. Different agents have different opinions on that, but that's one thing you want to keep in mind. The next thing that you're going to be paying would have to be what are called title costs. Now, I'm going to take a step back because a lot of times you'll hear people say the word or say the term closing costs, and they're referring to real estate commission and they're referring to a lot of the other fees. For our example, our closing costs are referring to anything that has to do with the title company and the job that they do. So first of all, you're going to be paying a title policy, that's title insurance. So in Utah, almost every time when you sell a house, you're providing a title policy or title insurance to the buyer. So this number includes this fee in it. Where does this come from? If you talk to somebody at a title company, they can actually provide you a chart, and the chart will say how much the house or how much the property is selling for, and you'll go down, you'll see this is what the title or this is what the title insurance is going to cost the plan or the premium. So you can determine, and it's predetermined, you can decide or figure out what you're going to be paying as far as the title policy goes. Now, in addition to that, you do have some other ancillary fees. Those are things like, we call these settlement fees in a lot of circles. This can include the cost that is being charged for the person to facilitate the signing. So the title officer, the escrow officer is bringing you in, sitting you down, and signing all the documentations. We need to make sure they're compensated. It's paying to do the recording of the deed. It's paying to get the reconveyance done, which means pay off the loan to make sure that's taken care of. They can have courier fees. They can have deeds if you're trying to, if you're needing to wipe out anything as far as utilities. Sometimes, in a lot of cases, when you're selling the house, you're paying your power and your electric outside of the closing. In most cases, not always, but in most cases, but you are still responsible to pay in a lot of cases like your water, sewer, and garbage if you haven't paid your last bill. So many times a title company is helping you close. They're going to call those specific utility companies and find out is there a balance, and if so, they take it out of closing. So that's something to be mindful as well. I'm kind of going over a lot of different fees and things. What I generally like to tell people is a simple way to do this is if you just take the $500,000 that you are going to be paying or that you're going to be getting for your house, you minus the real estate commission of 6% or whatever you agree with an agent, that's going to give you about $470. And then I would estimate the dirty quick rule is that if you say 1% of the sales price, in this case $5,000, that is going to be more than you're going to need in order to sell this house to take care of all those other fees. Now, the reason I say more is because when you are selling a house, the lower the dollar amount is, the more accurate that 1% becomes. So if you're selling a $100,000 condo, it's going to be pretty close to $1,000. $500,000 house, it's not going to be $5,000. But I tell people, if you figure that number out, you're going to be very happy when you get to the closing table because you're going to be getting a lot more than you thought. I would estimate, and this is just a quick guess, but it's probably going to be around $3,500, give or take. The only other thing that I want to make sure you're aware of is that when you are going to sell your property, if you have what's called an escrow account, and that means that the mortgage company is taking out money each month for your taxes and insurance, when you go to close, the title company will take out the taxes from the proceeds that you're going to get and pay the property taxes up to the point of when you own the house. So if you're selling it in August, they're going to pay all the way up through August to make sure that your taxes are paid for. but your escrow has been getting little amounts in it each month to pay that at the end of the year. So you're going to pay it up front and then you will get a refund on that. So that sometimes is a confusion for people because they're thinking, man, I just double paid my taxes. But you're having to upfront it. You get a refund back unless you don't have an escrow account. So that's the only difference. So I went over a lot of things in about 5 minutes. The easiest way to know, because we can really kind of dial this in almost to the penny when it's happening. So if you said, this is kind of a hard and fast, kind of a quick approach to looking how to do it. But if you wanted to say, I really want to get a fine tune on this and refine what the number is, give me a call and I can actually get you numbers to say if you sold your house for X, you're going to net Y after the sale is done. So a lot of people ask this question. I want to make sure that you're aware of it just to be educated. This is how the market works. And if you have any questions about this, give me a call. My number is 801-706-5337 and hope you have an awesome day. Look forward to talking to you soon.